Welcome to Draped in Film. I'm Trina, and this is where we come to chop it up about one of my favorite topics, which is costume design and wardrobe styling in film and TV. I love it. I love it. If you love costumes, and if you're obsessed with clothing and film, and obsessed with the costumes and how it comes together and what goes on behind the scenes, then this is the place for you. So let's get into it. I love breaking down costumes. I love watching something and just figuring out how it was done. And I just love to see people's methods and their inspiration and their ideas and how they think. And so today the topic at hand is Wicked. I just seen Wicked for the first time and it blew my mind. I've never I've never actually saw the Broadway show. So Wicked is a kind of a new world for me. I've always been obsessed with The Wiz, one of my favorites. I probably gonna have to do a video about that because yes, I've talked about that and I've watched it like so many times. I have it on DVD. This is for those who don't know, that's a little disc that we used to watch back in the day. But I've watched The Wiz a million times. Um, when I was a kid, I used to watch Wizard of Oz all the time, and I've watched like every variation of. I've watched so many different variations of the Oz world. There was a show a couple years ago called Emerald City, I believe. I The costumes in that was amazing. I love that whole storyline. It was canceled after one season, unfortunately, but I loved it. So Paul Tazwell, now Oscar-winning costume designer Paul Tazwell, deservingly so, because Wicked, I'm telling you, the costumes were amazing. The budget for this film, first African American male, if I didn't mention that, first African American male to win a costume design for a film, an Oscar, win an Oscar for a film. He joins Ruth E. Carter, who was the first African American woman to win costume design for a film, which she did for Black Panther. So, I mean, we're getting there, making strides, we're making progress. But let me tell you, Wicked's budget was $145 million. $145 million, if you could wrap that around your brain. But if you watch the film, you could you could tell where that money was spent because I'm not saying not even the costume design, but the production design, the set design, the artistic direction, everything about that film was amazing. It brought you into this world that it was like it brought you into the world of Oz, the university, was it Shiz University? It brought you into this world and this magical world, and it was amazing. I loved it. I loved it all. I watched it. Once I watched it, I went and watched it again, and I watched it again and again. It was just that great. But Paul Tazwell, I mean, we know him for things. He did Hamilton movie, the Harriet movie. He did the Wiz Live, so I'm already a fan. And also did a West Side Story movie. So he's not somebody's new. He's been working at this for years, and it just listening to him and seeing how his inspirations and how he to broke down the inspiration for each costume and how his vision was amazing. I mean, he had a costume department of 140 people. He oversaw 140 people. Wrap your mind around that. I mean, people included couture level tailors, dressmakers, embroiderers, hem felters, knitters, milliners. Milliners are people who design and creates the hats. Shoemakers, uh, armorers, armorers, jewelry makers, along with specialists in 3D printing and laser manipulation. So there was a lot of going on. So there was a lot of moving parts in this. It was a team of people that brought this together. And the thing about costume design, especially with something this big production, you tend to work with people that you've worked with before, and especially like with this many people. Like if you haven't seen The Wiz, I highly recommend it. I mean, I know it's not for everybody, but just to see this film, you pretty much want to work with people that you worked with before, that you know how to work. Because, like I said, he had to oversaw 140 people. He had to work with all these people, and there's a lot of meetings with directors, producers, set directors. You're going to have these meetings, so you need people that you could trust to carry out your vision. And he definitely had those people because everything was cohesive, everything was beautiful, everything was immaculate, detail orient. The details were just crazy details. So let's get into it. Let's get into some of these costumes. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. So now let's get into Glinda. Me personally, my favorite Glinda outfit was her pink duster. Like when her and Alfalfa, oh, I can't. Why can't I say this child's name? It's the braces, y'all. El Elphaba, 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 Elphaba. Okay, so my favorite outfit of Glinda was when her and Elphaba was in a room, and she went into her popular when she wanted to give Elphaba the makeover. So it was the pink duster, and I guess it's supposed to represent. It has spirals. I got the picture here, but it's the pink duster. It was very flowy, and it had the ruffles and the shoulders. And yeah, it was a spiral shoulders, and then even to the back. I love it. That was my favorite one. But the most iconic one would be the bubble dress. Is the iconic Glinda dress from all the films, which is the big bubble hoop dress that we're all used to knowing Glinda for. And so with the bubble dress, he's like he was they always knew it was gonna be shot and lit so that it emanated a certain amount of light. So they wanted light to pass through it, so it had to be airy. But it's just like the question was, how are they going to retain that transparency and layer fabrics to retain this lighter than air quality? So what they did is what they did. It was the bubble. So the bubble dress was actually made from different kinds of crinoline, tulle, and silk organza for the fabric with an ombre design. So the pink got darker as it went towards her face. And then there was added swirling bubbles and the bubbles that was in the pattern that was printed onto the organza, and there was embroidery at the bottom. And let me tell y'all, do y'all know that dress took 225 hours? 225 hours of work. There are 20,000 beads on the bodice. 225 hours worth of work for that one dress. Glinda had many outfit changes, but for that one specific dress, 225 hours and 20,000 beads on the bodice. Can we show our costume designers, our tailors, our embroiderers? Can we show them some respect, please? Please? Thank you. But yeah, I mean, it was a beautiful dress. It was gorgeous, but the duster was still my favorite one. And so, but Glenda had a couple of cute dresses. She had the party. Her theme was pink. She was always in pink, and that's why I'm in pink. So you had the party dress. School. She had her school uniform. She had the dress that she arrived in, and a couple of dresses, but her thing was pink. It's another Wicked reference. You have to watch the movie if you haven't seen that. So in one of the interviews I saw, it was like he was talking about how does he honor the original, but at the same time creating something new. So Nessa Rose's heels, which is the silver slippers, the infamous slippers that we see Dorothy in Wizard of Oz. She gets to wear them, but the slippers, they're not just like usually we see them like in the variations, and you see in Wizard of Oz we had the ruby slippers that were glittery, and the Wiz they had the silver shoes, which was also just a glitter heel. But what he did with in Wicked, he made the heel a spiral. The hill is a spiral. I guess it's supposed to represent a tornado that, and then like the shoe to make it a shoe, it just comes out. So I thought that was very cool. I mean, it was like you thought of everything. Like it was just beautiful. Everything was beautiful, and I just thought that little thought was he. I feel like he thought about everything, which is why he got the job. He thought about everything. Now we get to oh why can't I say this child's name? Oh my goodness. Elphaba's. Elphaba's wardrobe. Whew, give me a round of applause. Elphaba's wardrobe was inspired by nature. Since she was outcast, not liked by her father because she was green, the color of her skin. But she was pretty much the outcast, not liked. So she had an affinity, a love for the animals, and always wanted to protect them, and a connection with nature. So a lot of her wardrobe was inspired by nature. Like I loved Elphaba's wardrobe. I know we talk about Glenda's a lot, but Elphaba's to me was it was so dope. I love a good fit and flare. First of all, a lot of her outfits were a good fit and flare, and I love that. It was tailored. It was perfect. But if you really looked at her outfits, there was like so many. They were black, but there were so many details in her garments. Like the black dress, that was the finale dress in part one. If you looked at it, it was very pleated and it was very textured. So that was actually inspired by the mushrooms. The underside of mushrooms. It has like those lines. But it was inspired by the mushroom. They actually created that pleat to interpret it. They used felted fabric, gauze, and chiffon to make that dress. And he says the way we were able to manipulate it created the idea of the underside of a mushroom. That's skill, y'all. Like, if you don't understand what kind of skill that is, and then first of all, yes, that's skill. And so they went when it creating their hat, they wanted something that was going to be, you know, iconic, they also wanted something that was gonna fit her face and it had like a little swag to it, you know, when she put the hat on in the dance party when they first laughed at her and she did her little dance and then she put it back on, you could see the swag right there. It was swaggy. It was swaggy. But you could tell by her wardrobe, you could see the progression of her wardrobe as she started to gain her confidence. Like before, it seemed her wardrobe was like very heavy. She was longer clothes and very covered up, like very covered. But as she became popular, her clothes, her skirts got shorter. It seems like it just her clothes started to feel lighter. She started to show herself more and embrace herself a little bit more and show herself to the world. And then, honey, in this scene right here, when she was singing Gravity, and I think I'm going to blow this picture up, frame it, and hang it up because this is when she stepped into her power, and I loved it so much. Look at it, just look at it. But that was everything to me. It was, yeah, so her wardrobe was inspired by nature, trees, fungus, mushrooms, etc. Very nature inspired and like not in the literal sense, but taking things of how nature forms and how it's created and the things that nature does was created in her garment. The shapes. It was dope. It was so dope. And I loved any moment. And then, you know what I also liked? Did you see that the school uniforms, the kids at Shiz University, Shiz or Shiv University? It's one of those universities. But all the uniforms were the same, but they were different. Everybody had their own little personality, their own little swag, and I loved it. It was like everybody had their own detail, and I need to find out how much background cast members there were because that was amazing, and all the accessories. I'm an accessories girl. I love accessories, and the accessories were so cool. Like I don't even know remember what his name was. The friend, the shady friend that was Glenda's friend. The one he's on Saturday Night Live. His glasses were dope. Elphaba's glasses. I loved it. And uh, let's talk about the hats already. Yeah, they went through 5 or 6 designs to come up with the hats, or was I just rambling on and didn't even get to the point? But yeah, they went through 5 or 6 designs and eventually put 2 of the concepts together to get her hat. And yeah, the accessory. Oh, Faba's nails. Shout out to the nail designer. Did you know that also? I looked in the credits. There was a painter, contact lens painter, and you could tell and I didn't notice it until when Glenda and Alphaba was about to go into the wizard's chamber, and then you could see Elphaba's eyes. I was like, oh my god, look at her eyes. That's what the lens, the contact lens painter did. That was interesting. That's interesting. And honorable mention for one of my favorite designs was the librarian. I love the librarian's outfit. I thought it was so cute. But there were so many, like there was Mrs. Oh my God, what is her name? The teacher that taught the magic. The one that was in Anything Everywhere All at the Same Time. I know I said that name wrong. Don't don't get on me about that. Like, yeah, but I know, but her costumes was and then like I said with the spiraling, get back to the spirals. The wizards, his ascot had spirals on it, and his pants had a texture to it too, and that was dope. There was You're gonna see the spirals everywhere. Boop. Yes. And I was say, isn't I missing anything? And I know he talked about Elphaba's mother is dressed in the red dress. It's the actually an upside down poppy, and she had a poppy on the waist. I didn't actually get a good full um look of it, but it was a pretty dress, and it definitely fit her. So yeah, I mean, it was. I mean, if you get a chance, if you're not a musical person, I get it, but it was an amazing film. The set design, the art direction, the the direction, the costume design. That's where my heart is. So I'm always big up the costume. It was an amazing, amazing, amazing film. But that's all I have to say. Thank you for chopping up with me while I ramble on about costumes. I love costumes, everything. And because bringing characters to life, that's what costume designers do, is bring characters to life, one stitch at a time. Thank you for stopping with me and Draped in Film. I'm Trina, and I hope to see you again. Peace. Wait, what was your favorite costume? Drop a comment below. What's your favorite costume? I like to know. Like, did you have a favorite? And let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe, tell a friend, tell another friend if you enjoyed this conversation. See you next time.